Welcome to Connecticut at your service. I'm your host today, Dion Polsinella. At Connecticut at your service, we come to you weekly with the goal of bringing members of the community to you here in our studios in Stratford, Connecticut, to talk about the great things that they're doing in the community meant to engage, empower, and inform. Today, I'm bringing a very special guest to you, Michelle Artis. Michelle is the director of the Mid-Fairfield County affiliate of the global organization Dress for Success. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here today, Deanna. I am so excited to be here to talk about all the work that we do at Dress for Success Mid-Fairfield County.
Awesome. So Michelle has a very impressive background. She is a dedicated director of Dress for Success Mid-Fairfield County, where she leads with purpose, compassion, and a deep commitment to women on their journey to economic independence. With a background rooted in community development and advocacy, Michelle brings a strong passion for opportunities that uplift, and inspire. She believes in the power of confidence, connection, and career development, and works tirelessly to ensure that every woman who walks through the Mid-Fairfield County affiliate feels seen, supported, and ready to succeed. Beyond her personal role or professional role, Michelle is a devoted mother of two beautiful children who are her greatest inspiration and motivation. Her personal and professional goals are driven by love, resilience, and the belief that with the right support, every woman can thrive. At Dress, we keep on going, or Michelle, welcome. Very impressive bio. So do tell us, so Dress for Success is a global organization. You're the director of the Mid-Fairfield County affiliate. Tell me, how long have you been there, and what drew you to the organization?
So I've been there now for 3 years, and Dress for Success Mid-Fairfield County is a group that helps women feel confident, and they really help them get the job. Me as a mother myself, and just knowing that the women that we serve, with them having to worry about one less thing, which would be what to wear when they come into our doors, is one of my goals, to make sure that that's something that they don't have to worry about. Going to an interview or to employment and getting the job was the first step, right? But then when you think about all that goes into it, we are that backbone to help them, push them a little bit further, to really give them that confidence in order to get them ready to go.
And tell me, how did you learn about the organization?
So my organization is a little bit special because we are partnered with the workplace.
Oh, okay.
So we are underneath the workplace, which puts us a little bit different from all the other affiliates that are just standalones. So with the workplace being the workforce board that we're underneath, I feel like we're able to reach more women and help way more women, because a lot of them are referred to us from the workplace as well. So that's what kind of makes our affiliate a little bit more special. So, if you know anything about the workplace, they have so many different amazing programs to help people that are looking for work or get that training that they need to get that job. And so we are one of their pillars, so yeah.
Awesome. So now, did you come to them through the workplace, or did you hear about the organization first? Like, what was the thing that said, oh, Dress for Success, that's where I want to be?
So originally, when I saw that the opportunity to become the director of Dress for Success was available, I have a huge background in retail.
Oh.
So my background really stems from retail management.
Okay.
So as far as being a mom, which is my most favorite thing to do, I'm also have a background in makeup artistry.
Oh.
So I've been a makeup artist for about 10 plus years.
Okay.
And working in retail, working fashion, since I think I was in high school, really. And so when I saw the opportunity to become the director for Dress for Success, I wanted to take it because I felt like that was part of my journey of working in those stores in the mall, doing makeup, and then using my purpose for something so different. And it was still something that I absolutely loved, helping women, giving them the confidence, dressing them, but it was just in a different light. So I always say that, sometimes you look at your journey and you say, oh, why am I here? Or why am I doing this? Or what is that purpose, right? And when I look at the overall purpose of what I've done and where I am now, I know that every step that I have taken so far was where I would be today, which would be the director. Because my passion is I love making people feel good. And I love when people feel their best, and I love making people feel beautiful. So being able to do that on a day-to-day basis with the clients that I see inside of my boutique, that's the real reason why I wanted to take that job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, how many women have you helped in the Fairfield County location?
So within this past year, we've helped over 400 women.
Wow.
And that's with them coming inside of our doors with doing suitings, financial literacy classes, online trainings on how to look the part. When you get that interview, how do you actually look when you go to the interview? So we've helped over 400 women so far this year.
Just for 2025 so far?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's incredible.
Because we do it in person and virtually as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So on the average year, is that average for the year? Like, is that typical, or is that above average for this time of the year? Because we're not even, we're just first quarter into the year.
That's about average,
That's about
I will
average.
say. I do have a lot of people that reach out to me. They know that we're a part of that step to help them where they need to be as far as getting that outfit if they don't have that available to them. So I think that we have a wide range of network with our referral agencies, so they know that we're that person that they call for that last step, when they're about to go, their client is about to go on the interview, or their client got the job and they need something to wear.
Okay, awesome. Now, you talked about the different programs. Tell me, can you think of a story of one of the success stories that inspires you the most? Someone who came to Dress for Success, what kind of situation were they in? Where did they end up? But someone who's thriving today?
Absolutely. I mean, I have so many stories like that. We could go on for days. But one that sticks out to me more so recently, I'm not going to say the name, but I had a client that came through one of our workplace programs called Project Retail. So Project Retail is a special program because what it does is it takes you through the steps on how to become better at your retail services. And that's looped around with, we also have a partnership with the Fashionista Technology. So they go through a 7-week course and they learn the fundamentals of retail. So I met a young lady in that class, and she's a more mature age, and she came to us to be suited because she was going for an interview at Talbot's, which is so ironic because Talbot's is one of our Dress for Success affiliates, bigger companies that we work with.
Nice.
And she came to me and she got suited and she went for an interview at Talbot's and she got the job.
Nice.
So that's where she's working now. And she's actually going to be speaking at our May event as well because I think her story is so inspirational. But what she really said to me touched me. She goes, at my age, I thought to myself, where do I go from here, right? And she goes, when I walked into the doors of Dress for Success, I really felt a sisterhood. And I feel like that really resonated with me because it's never too late, right? It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to start from the beginning where you feel that you may have not been there, but now at this point in your life, you can go there. And she's been the spokesperson. She was one of the women that who inspires. So she was recognized by Dress for Success Worldwide, and she's been all over their Instagram, Facebook page. And so it's really special because I feel like I've seen this newfound confidence in her that she necessarily didn't have before. So it's so funny when I asked her, to speak at our May event. She's like, Michelle, like, I don't know how I could do it. I'm so nervous. And I was like, you could do it. Like, you have the power. You could do it. And now it's excitement.
Yeah.
Like, she's ready. She's like, I'm ready to speak. Like, I'm so excited. So it's going to be really nice to see the transition of her. You know, she came in and she was so shy. And now, of course, you know, if you're working in retail, front facing, like, you have to have that personality.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to sell. And she's all that and more.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow, never too late, huh?
Never too late.
That's awesome.
You
That's
could always
awesome.
start.
Excellent. So you mentioned the May event. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so it is our annual fundraiser. It's going to be May 6th. It's a Thursday at 5:30 at Boca Oyster Bar in Bridgeport. It is one of my favorite events because it's really where you can network. It's a lot of great people in the room. We have live music. We have good food. We have the amazing Melissa Shakatoff from WICC that's going to be emceeing this year. We have the silent auction as well. You'll hear from some of our guest speakers. And it's just a really great night to celebrate the women that we've been serving over the years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So May 6th, right?
Correct.
At Boca. All right, excellent. So tell me about the different programs. So you mentioned there's suiting. Tell me about the other programs that you mentioned.
So we have our suitings. So for suitings, that's for anyone that, you know, cannot afford to purchase clothing. They would be referred to us by a government-funded agency or a nonprofit. They would come into the boutique and they would be suited by one of our volunteers. For the interview suiting, they'll get that one powerful, I call it the power suit, that when they go to the interview, once they nail the job, they come back and they get 5 additional outfits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really, really great program.
That's awesome.
And then we have our financial literacy program, which I think is one of the most important programs because once you get the job, you have to know how to maintain your finances. So, and you know, financial literacy is something so important because it's not taught to a lot of people.
That's for sure.
You know, and so I think that with us being able to give the women that we serve that extra help, it really is going to make the difference of them keeping the job and then staying financially stable. And then we have one of my other favorite groups near and dear to my heart is my professional women's group. We meet once a month, and it's a great group of women that have gotten the employment. So after you get the job, we invite you to be a part of this group. Because with this group, then you're able to network with your girlfriends, you know, once a month. We have a nice light dinner, and then we have guest speakers. You know, we've done anything from doing improv, which was one of my favorites. It's different because you got to get people out of their shells, right? And if these women want to elevate their lives to the next level, because a lot of them have dreams that they could definitely achieve, we're giving them the tools and the mentorship to do so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about, is there any ongoing engagement once someone sort of graduates from the program? So that's pretty cool.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like once someone becomes a part of our program, they know that we're always there when they need help, no matter what capacity that is. And a lot of our women that have been through the program, some of them become our volunteers.
Nice.
And some of them even sit on our board now too. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Now, how many volunteers are in the Mid-Fairfield location?
So the Mid-Fairfield County location, we have about a good 35 to 40 volunteers.
Okay.
It grows. You could do anything from sorting, which is when we get those donations in the door. There has to be someone to sort through them to make sure that they're able to go onto the client and they're suitable for the boutique. And then we also have the volunteers that like to do the suitings, which is one of my favorite things to do, even though I can't do it all the time. But
Right.
you know, when I get a chance to, it really excites me because it's almost like we're playing dress up, right? So those volunteers, they come in and they help the client pick that perfect outfit to send them on their way to get the job and
Very
give them that
nice.
confidence. Yeah.
Now, do you help with makeup? You said you're a makeup artist. Do you actually help or give any tips with makeup?
It's funny that you asked that. We had a session for our clients. We did their biopics. So we had a photographer come in, and she volunteered her time to take pictures of, you know, some of our clients that have gotten the job already and that they need like that LinkedIn picture or they need like that Outlook picture. And I actually did makeup for the ladies that day.
Nice.
And then for our client that was recognized for worldwide, she had to take that picture that was going to be put everywhere.
Nice.
And I did her makeup for that day as well. So I'm always giving tips regardless because I
Yeah.
think it's one of the important things, especially now that everything is changing. You may have that interview on Zoom, right? Or even that interview in person. And I think one of the most important things that we all know is, what is your brand? What is your personal brand for yourself? And so that's a big part of it. So then that's what I would speak to them about. Hey, like, I know that you may love those purple eyelashes, but that may not be what you want to wear to that interview. Maybe once you get the job, you could pop them back on, but until then, I think that you should hold off.
Good advice, very
Yes.
good advice. Now, speaking of things changing with the pandemic, I feel that it seems that people are more casual. Now, are you noticing that in the types of donations that you get for women's suits or dresses or what have you? Or are people as suited up as they had been, let's say, 5-7 years ago?
That is a great question. And honestly, I've definitely seen a difference in what may be workplace appropriate or casual.
Right.
So what I always say to when someone's coming into a suiting, before I introduce them to our volunteer, for an interview suiting, I always say you want to make sure that you put on that power suit, and making sure that when you go into that interview, that you know that you're going to nail it.
Right.
And then once you get to know the culture of where you're going to be working, then you could kind of gauge what you're going to be wearing, opposing to, wearing something a little bit more different and not having it be as casual.
Right.
When people do call about donations, they do always ask, what is appropriate for a donation, and casual things we really don't take, but I almost more so say basic. So like a blazer or a pair of pants would be great. I love a busy top myself. But I try to say nothing as busy, because when you're going to go put it on, we're going to put it on them, we want to make sure that it's something that they could feel comfortable going to an interview with.
Sure.
And things are changing. Everything, I feel like at work with hybrid and things like that, it is workplace casual. But workplace casual could still be someone having confidence in what they're wearing. So it's a mixed bag. It really is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Depending on the company that the client is going to work for.
Now, you have beautiful hair, by the way. Oh, is that a caller? But you can't call in. Our number is 203-345-0103. So call on in if you have some questions for Michelle. I was going to say, you have beautiful hair, and a birdie told me that you do a little something with Sally's Beauty Salon. Is that true?
So I was fortunate enough, what you see here, these are my, I have my boho knotless in right now, because the weather is starting to change, so a girl likes to have a little bit of fun. But typically my hair is big and curly, and I love my mane. So I was able to do a campaign with Zoto's Hair, and they are out of Darien, and they have a campaign called Age Beauty. It's an amazing product, and what you're able to do is you're able to dye your hair and get that salon service at home.
Wow.
And so they asked me to do a campaign for them to represent Dress for Success, and it was inside Sally's, and it's a funny story. I was going to Sally's to get hair dyed to dye my sister's hair, and as I'm shopping through Zoto's Age Beauty, obviously because they use it on me before, so I know it works. And I look up, no lie, and I see my picture. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm screaming. And my sister's like, well, I'm like, my picture's up. I had no idea that my picture was going to be up there. I thought it was just going to be like online. I didn't know that it was going to be in store. So it was such an amazing surprise. And yeah, it was really cool. I mean, their products are absolutely amazing. And for curly hair, their products are so great. And I'm type of that person that uses a little bit of everything. So I love their products. Yes.
Awesome. Looks like we have a caller. Let's see what we got here. Hello, you're on CT at your service.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Got a little feedback. Go ahead, caller.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of feedback, though.
I just have a question.
Sure, what's your question? Go ahead, caller. What's your question?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find the right word. How does one volunteer at your organization? Because it sounds very interesting. I would love to, volunteer.
Good question.
Great question. We would love to have more volunteers. So you could go on our personal page, which is Mid-Fairfield County justicesuccess.org, and you scroll all the way down, and then it gives you everything on how to volunteer with us.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, sounds good.
Did you have
Keep
any
up the
other
good work.
questions? Or do we
No,
answer it?
I'm just listening. You're amazing. Keep up the good work. That's a really great organization.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you,
You
you
as well.
too. If anyone else has any questions, our number is 203-345-0103. So that was cool to get a caller. I wasn't
Yes, it
expecting
was.
that.
I know. That's great. That's great. We love to hear from you.
That's
Any
right,
questions?
Call on in. So I also hear, so you're a mother,
Yes.
2 babies.
Babies, in my
Babies?
eyes, yes.
Always babies for
Not
mom,
babies,
right?
really, though. I have a daughter who is 17. She's a senior. And then I have my son who is 13,
Wow.
which is a 7th grader.
Okay.
I have my pair. They keep me busy. And and as I do the work that I do as a director and being a full-time mom and a wife, I just think about on those days that I am kind of tired,
Yeah.
I keep on going and I keep on pushing, for the women that I serve.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the women that we do serve, some of them are single moms, some of them are, trying to get back on their feet, right? So I just feel like when I'm speaking to them, I speak to them from the heart. And I let them know, no matter what, you got this.
Yeah.
Like, you could do this, And like I said, I feel like with me personally, a lot of things that I do, it is so my children could see their mom in this different light. And so I just think it's so important to just let, all the women out there know if they have a child or not, regardless, you can make this happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. How do you juggle everything? I have one child and a job, and it's not nearly as taxing, I think, as yours, because I feel like you don't turn your job off.
No, sometimes, no, it's not one that you can, but,
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith, and through a lot of prayer and through, the blessings of God, it's possible,
Yeah.
And I don't ever bite off more than I could chew. I think one thing that I've always learned is I just try to prioritize. And if I can't get to it today, then that's okay. Hopefully we have tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? But my number one thing that I always try to strive for is that the women that walk through our door, when they need help, it's my job to make sure that I find a way to help them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned prioritizing,
Yeah.
and with social media, it's very difficult to do that. I think a lot of people see the glitz and the glam that people portray online. How do you keep, now especially the younger women coming into the organization, your clients, how do you keep them focused and prioritizing on the right thing?
I give them the advice that I give myself. And I think it's more so about what you allow yourself to intake. And so when I look at my social media, I use it as a way to encourage and empower. And I take in certain things and then I leave certain things out.
Yeah.
So that meant me purging for a little bit, right? So I kind of unfollowed all of those blogs and all those gossip blogs, and it was more so, okay, what do I really want to take in? I want to take in motivational things. I think we may have a caller.
Do we have another call?
I think so. Yeah.
I think we do.
Oh, maybe
That's
not.
okay.
Okay.
I did hear a phone ringing,
Yes.
but it maybe hasn't come through yet. So, but if you,
Oh, there it goes.
now we have a caller. All right. Hello, welcome to Connecticut at your service.
Hello, lady. Thank you so much for your amazing work. How can an individual support the organization? Is it just going to the event, or can people donate clothing, or could you give us some information about how we might be able to do that as a community?
Absolutely. So donation of clothing, that is key, because without your donations, we cannot suit our clients. Monetary donations are also a great way to donate and give back, because without that, we can't keep our lights on to service our clients. And then, of course, volunteering. I mean, our volunteers are the heart and soul of our organization. They really are. They come in on, on days. They help with suitings, like I said. They help with sorting through donations. They also help with answering phones and, sometimes doing, paperwork and things like that. So our volunteers are, they're dear to my heart. So those are 3 ways that you could definitely help our organization at this time.
Awesome. And you
Thank
mentioned.
you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
caller.
you.
Appreciate your call. And you mentioned the event on May 6th, which is your biggest fundraiser. Can you tell us about that again? Just
Yes.
in case people are just joining us.
Of course. So for our May event, it's going to be May 6th, our Empower Her celebration. And during this time, we are going to have live entertainment from Timmy Maya, along with our MC, Melissa Shakatoff. You will be hearing from some of our clients that we've served, some success stories. And it's a great night to network. We have a lot of amazing people in the room, some good food, a nice cocktail by the water. I mean, what else could you ask for on a beautiful May day?
It sounds beautiful. And Boca is beautiful, so that's a great location. So do you have any other personal kind of tips for people if they're kind of out there, they're down and out, they're unemployed, they're underemployed? How do they, what's the first thing that they do in terms of getting in touch with the Mid-Fairfield County location?
So Dress for Success Mid-Fairfield County, we are a referral program.
Okay.
So I think that's really important because, you would be working with maybe someone that you're working with a career already. So if you're working with someone like a case manager, if you're working with, a career coach, an employment specialist,
Okay.
So again, we are that piece of your puzzle. At this point that you want to go back to work and you may not have all the means to do so, but you know that you're ready.
Awesome.
And when you're ready to go back to work, we are here to suit you and make you feel your most confident.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, another personal, I did doing a little Google search and saw that you are not only the director of the Mid-Fairfield County location, but you're also an author.
I am an author. The name of my book is called I Am Different. My son, Aiden, he was born with something called spina bifida. And so he is a wheelchair user at the age of 13. And, when I typically say that out loud, which I'm going to be honest, I could say it now and smile, but when it first happened, it was something that was a little bit it's something that I had to overcome.
Sure.
But my book is really about uplifting. It's uplifting and celebrating differences.
Awesome.
It takes you through the story of a child that uses a wheelchair opposing to an able child, which able meaning a child that doesn't. And it says, hey, you know what? We do the same things, but we just do it differently. And it's colorful, it's beautiful, it's an amazing family read. You could find it on my website, theartistcompanyllc.com.
And that's artist, A-R-T-I-S.
Yes,
Okay.
theartistcompanyllc.com. And it's so funny because people don't know that my last name is Artist. They
Right.
think because I do makeup. They're like, oh, that's probably her alias, Artist. No, Artist is my last
Your real
name.
last
Yeah,
name.
it is my real last name. Yes, but it's really dear to my heart, and I love going to schools and I love reading the book, and it just lights up. Not only is it colorful, but the message behind it is so beautiful. And it's something that I instilled into my son and my daughter. Being different and having differences, it's a celebration, and more so it's a celebration for my son, because those little things that someone may take for granted
Absolutely.
are things that he has to always overcome. So we call them little celebrations.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is
Yes,
wonderful.
yes.
So, again, you are coming to us from Trumbull. You are now. Where's the Mid-Fairfield location? Where is it located?
So we're in Bridgeport.
You're in
We're at
Bridgeport, okay.
240 Fairfield Avenue. We are located on the 2nd floor.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Yes.
Any landmarks near there that people can look out for?
Landmarks near there. It's next to a Bagel King and across from Murphy's Law.
Okay.
So I always say, come around. You're right across from Murphy's Law. we're right there. So we buzz you up.
Okay, awesome.
So yes, if you want to make a donation, we do urge that you email so that we could set some time up to come and meet you to get your donations. And then, yeah, we're here to help everyone. If you have a client that needs to be referred for clothing, you could reach out to us through our email as well.
Excellent. And they can also donate online, right?
Yes, monetary donations could be done online. Yes.
At Mid-Fairfield County DressForSuccess.org.
You got it.
Excellent. Well, Michelle, this was wonderful. This was absolutely wonderful meeting you and learning about the organization and learning about you personally. And I had the greatest admiration for you.
Oh,
This
thank
was
you.
excellent.
And I'll see you guys on May 6th.
Excellent. Connecticut at your